welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so where am I headed on this beautiful sunny March day? It's March 13th here, and tomorrow's White Day. If you don't know what White Day is, well, it's sort of a companion day with Valentine's Day. Here in Japan, women give men chocolate on Valentine's Day, and a month later, men reciprocate. And so that's tomorrow. But that's kind of beside the point. I'm headed to Nakano, and I'm going shopping with, we'll just call him Ted. And he wants to buy a Rolex watch. He has a short list. He sent it to me. We're going to probably be buying a GMT perhaps. I think that's where he's leaning, and that's probably where I would steer most people, because it's such an amazing watch for various reasons. All right, so what's going on in the world of Rolex? Well, according to my friend Wes, he was chatting with his authorized dealer. He has a pretty good relationship with his authorized dealer. He bought a Pepsi not too long ago. Congratulations on that, Wes. And according to his authorized dealer, they're no longer taking requests, or they've been instructed to no longer take requests for the Yachtmaster 2. Now, you might think that that's leaving the catalog, but I think that's not the case. I think Rolex is going to keep that around. It has a purpose, it has a place. It's not like it's not selling. And not too long ago, Danny, who runs a wonderful watch blog, I'll put a link in the description, he found a application for a patent that Rolex filed, and it was for a 10-minute countdown timer, and he superimposed that on the old Yachtmaster 2 movement. It looks pretty similar. So I think they're going to upgrade that watch. I think it's going to get a new movement and an upgraded movement, and I think it's going to remain in the catalog. Now, Wes also said that they're not taking requests for two date-just dials, the palm leaf motif and the Jubilee motif. So those might be leaving the catalog, and I have a feeling that more date-just dials are on the way. In fact, I think they're going to do that anyway. They came out with a music dial not too long ago with cellos and notes on it, and I think they're going to come out with other dials. So perhaps like the Oyster Perpetual Stella dials, those two interesting dials, the Jubilee and the Palm Motif dial, are being taken out of the catalog. Will there be a crazy run on them? Not really, in my opinion. Probably there'll be a slight jump, but people will move on. And speaking of my friend Danny, he was actually the one who found the patent filing for the black and red bicolored bezel, all right? And we know what that is, right? We know what's on the way. That's going to be a Coke, all right? And a Coke, you can't get more GMT than a Coke, because it first came out in 1983 on the 16760 Fat Lady. That was the first iteration of the GMT Master 2. Before then, it was just the GMT Master, but with the GMT Master 2, you could separate the 24-hour hand and the local hour hand, and it was the first introduction of those Coke colors. And you know Rolex has been wanting to produce that for a long time, and the punters sure want it. And it leaves the question, what would they take out of the catalog? And a lot of people think that it would be the Pepsi. Now, I totally disagree with that. I don't think that would be the Pepsi that would leave. I think it would be the BLNR. Now, a lot of people point to the fact that the Pepsi production seems to be tapering down. But from what I've been told, the problem lies in the fragility of the Pepsi bezel. Apparently, and this is a rumor here, I don't have any inside information, but apparently it has a tendency to crack during services, and so there's that factor. Now, again, a lot of people think that the Coke would replace the Pepsi, and I don't think that's the case for two reasons. Number one, the Pepsi is more popular, the BLNR is not. I think it would be the BLNR that would be the one to go. And here's the other reason. I don't think the BLNR was ever really meant to be. They came out with the BLNR not because of necessity, but just because it was all they could accomplish. They had, prior to the BLNR, the all-black GMT. And they couldn't get the Coke colors. That was the whole issue, and that's been the whole issue. And so the best they could do was the BLNR. Now, when it comes to the GMT Pepsi, it took forever for them to fix the colors on that, and in my opinion, they still really haven't done it. The colors don't pop, in my opinion, the way they should. Now, at first, when the Pepsi came out, the colors were more pink and purple, and now they're truer to the blue and red, but they're still a little drab, in my opinion, I hate to say. So I think it needs work, but they did the best they could. But my whole point there is to say that they've had a hard time with these ceramic bicolored bezels, and I don't think the BLNR was really ever meant to be, and now that they've achieved, I think, what they want to achieve, I think that's going to be the one to go. And all will be right in the world in terms of the traditional bicolored GMT bezels. There'll be a Pepsi, there'll be a Coke, and then of course you have the oddball Sprite colors of black and green, which a lot of people think they're gonna end that soon. Don't think that's gonna happen. That is due for the president of Rolex's baby, I think. He wears one of those, he's left-handed. I think it's gonna be in the catalog for decades to come. Why would they end that in just like a couple of years? Doesn't make much sense. But anyway, all right, off to Nakano. Let's buy a watch for Ted. This is going to be Ted's first Rolex, and a 16600 would be a great one watch. It's got the date, and what a value proposition. This is thousands cheaper than a sub, but it was too heavy for him. Now, this doesn't have the date, so I think it's too thin on functions to serve as somebody's first and perhaps only Rolex watch. This would be a great piece to add after something with more functionality. For example, something like this, but it's quite a bit more expensive than that first Sea Dweller we saw. Now, similar to this, and probably the biggest bang for buck would be the Explorer 2, but he really didn't like the aesthetic. He kind of likes the sub look, the GMT look, but he decided to pass on this particular example because of the tritium, which can be a little finicky to deal with. Enter this D serial from 2005, 2006, an amazing price because it was watch only, but look at the case. The polishing job was way too heavy-handed and, in my opinion, ruined the piece. And therein lies just about the only problem with watch shopping in Japan. You can find amazing pieces all day long, but it's the polishing maniacs that are the issue. This was just about the exact configuration Ted was looking for, and he didn't care about the box. He just wanted a good price, but they polished themselves out of a sale. This K serial from 2000, 2001 was really well priced. It was watch only, but those deep scratches on the bezel insert were unfortunate. While it's certainly been polished, it's got a much, much better polish than that previous D serial that we looked at. Ted did consider a sub, but he thought that might be a little cliche, and he likes the colors on the GMT pre-ceramic bezels. So by this point in the video, he knew he was going to get a 16710. Now, not this one. It's a little too expensive. It's the 3186 movement version, and great polishing job there, but unfortunately, it wasn't a full set. And if you're going to spend that kind of money on a collector's piece like this, then you want a full set. Here's an early A serial from around 1999. Note the Swiss only dial, that's a plus. A minus, this has a hollow in-link bracelet, and the polishing is just so-so. It's not that great. I would say fair, and only papers, so we passed on this one. I think the price is a little high considering what you get, but I think it's owing to the Swiss only dial. Now, this P serial was a contender. Box papers, didn't come with the tags. Now, that right lug looks fantastic. The one on the left doesn't look quite as good. The price was good. Now, that's with tax. He would have gotten it for 10% cheaper. And it's a P serial with a fat font serif bezel. Now, he actually wants a Pepsi. And so if you were to get a Pepsi insert at RSC, it would be the sans serif insert. It would look like a service insert. It would be the wrong insert. So we decided to go for a later 16710. Something like this F serial from 2003, 4, or 5. And the reason being is because the style of insert is the sans serif insert. and the service inserts are the same. So if you were to get a service insert, a Pepsi, it wouldn't look out of place. The price is a little high comparatively speaking, and the polishing job is pretty good, but that left lug isn't as good as the right lug. Box and papers, but I think the tags on this piece might have been missing as well. Look at the font on this bezel compared to this one. This is a P serial, and it's a beautiful piece, full set, box papers, a really good polishing job, but the tag indicates that it was born a Pepsi, and so it doesn't have the original bezel insert, and that's kind of unfortunate. And the price is a tad high. And we get to the winner, a Y serial from 2001 or 2002, probably 2001, because it's got a holes case and box, papers, tags, everything. And look at that polishing job. Thumbs up. So this is what he went for, and I think it's a great piece. And you can see the papers there, and check out that price. All right, man, so you got your GMT. This is a 16710. It's a Y serial, pulse case, solid unlinked bracelet, Swiss-made dial, box, papers, tag, everything. How do you feel?
I made the right decision, and it was because of you showing me the way.
I appreciate that.
Because we almost mixed up with a Pepsi that wasn't the right number, I believe. Or
Yeah, we looked at a lot of different ones, and the polishing on this watch is great. It's I think it's been polished maybe once, and really, really nice as far as like the lugs go. You originally wanted a Pepsi, right?
Pepsi or a Coke.
Okay, and here we have an all black. And why did you decide to go for an all black?
This one just looked better under your guidance on the polishing and the fading, and the serial numbers all matched, black on black.
Yeah,
and you can get a bezel.
Exactly, yeah, because you know, that's something we were laser focused on Pepsis, but then it kind of occurred to me that, you know, you can just get a service insert, and this is a Y serial, and that's when they changed from the fat font serif insert to the thin font.
I like the fat.
Right, and so what you can do is you can go and you can get that service bezel, and it's going to be, you know, the same as this. And you'll be able to get a Pepsi, a Coke, and yeah, so I think this will serve you well.
I appreciate it, Austin.
Congratulations, Ted, on your first Rolex watch. It'll last you for the rest of your life. Let me know what you think. Did Ted do well? All right, take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.